Hello, everyone. Welcome to GrayManPrepping. And tonight is Tactical Tuesday, gear and more, mainly more tonight. And tonight's topic is dun, da, da, da. Can you all read that? Food Source Recon. Now, think about that for a minute, and then we're going to get into it. First, I got Laura here from Hedgehog's Homestead.
Hi, guys.
And let's say
Good
hi to
evening.
everybody here. Let's scroll back up to the top of it. And the first one in was Alicia. And then Laura came in. And then Mary Beth Smith. Julie Evans. And everybody, they're talking there on the side. Glenn Haldegarden. Hey, Glenn. Thank you very much for sharing me out earlier. And we have Suburban Hillbilly. And we got a few more because the numbers are higher than that are just all watching the side chat. Watching is just fine. And I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, use capital block letters to type them in to make sure it catches up my attention or Laura's attention, and we can work on that. Tonight's topic is ode to Sean of North Shore Preparedness. He did a couple little videos about checking around his area and stuff, was talking about it. And so it's like, hey, that's a very good idea. Why reinvent the wheel on a topic? He already invented it. So I'm just going to take it to the next step tonight here with Laura's help. And Laura's in an interesting situation. She's got Amish around her and Mennonites and
Yeah,
so,
I do.
Yeah, and so we will get into that portion here in a minute. Let's pop this up here. Boom, there we go. So I picked a lot of pictures from my 18th cousin, General George. And
Hi, Joe.
Hey, it's Garden State Gardener. Hey, Joe, how's it going? And one of the big things, if you're a history buff, like my grandmother was, and she, pounded this stuff into us. But in World War II, one of the big things was recon. Finding out where Rommel was, where the 3rd Panther Division was, where, And so, hey, Pastor McQuaddy.
Good to see you.
And so that's, the thing about this is, a food source recon is what happens when for some reason, short term, long term, hey, zombie prepper, whatever the reason is, forever, how long it is, what if the stores don't have food and you're burning through your stockpile because you had all your cousins and relatives show up, all right, how do we garden? We're here to help. We're here to live, all right.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, you're running short on food. And so do you know where there are places around you to get food? And, look around as you're driving around, open your eyes, see what's around you. All the generals, they always had a pair of binoculars because they wanted to see what was going on without getting up where they could get shot at.
Yeah.
And even the modern guys still use binoculars with all our high-tech stuff. There's nothing like looking and getting eyes on the situation. Hey, Tibor, how's it going? And so, it's basically, if you can bet your bottom dollar that other people are going to be looking around your area to see what sort of food is out there. And you should be doing the same thing. You should be planning ahead. Don't wait until, oh, crap, it looks like the balloon's about ready to go up now. I need to do something about it now.
Exactly.
Because one of the things you need to do, man, why is my thing artifacting so much? That's when it starts doing all that fuzzy stuff around me here. Let me see if I can fix that here, folks. Sorry for the thing here. What am I at? 47. Let me take it down to 46. Did that do it? 48 took it. Now it takes me out. So let me go.
We're losing you.
I think I got a semi-balance there here now.
Yeah.
All right. So you need to find out what foods.
Hey, Howie.
And I froze. What food sources are around you, like Howie, if you're up in Western Canada,
Yeah.
where they're growing food, and make friends with those people.
Mm-hmm.
Become acquainted with them. They may not want to be your friends, but be acquainted with them. Christmas time, drop off some homemade stuff to them. Keep them in your mind. Keep you in their mind that, hey, these are nice people. And
learn who you can make trades with. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and if it happens to be a business, find out who the important people are at that business.
Yeah.
Like behind me here in several of the videos, I've pointed out Idaho Supreme, where they make mashed potatoes, flavored mashed potatoes, regular mashed potatoes. And so I know that the manager of the plant down my street, 5 houses down on the left, that's where he lives. So
nice.
And then the dairy that's half a mile away, third of a mile. The Likes, they're members of my church here. So I see Chris at church all the time. So and I've talked about stuff, and actually I got to get with Chris here now that I got all this dirt moved in, about getting a couple truckloads of manure from the dairy that they need to get rid of, brought over and just dumped. They don't even have to spread it. They can just dump it here, and then I'll move it around and spread it. And then when the garden starts producing, hey, I can return the favor by taking them, heads of lettuce, things of tomatoes and stuff like that. But the thing is to learn about what's in your area. And to do that, you got to get out of your comfort zone, or if you like driving, it's in your comfort zone. Drive around, take a look, figure out what is where, and talk to people. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Tammy, Rebel Canners.
Yeah.
Was talking about one of the farmers that after they'd gone through with their harvesting machine, she talked to them and they said, yeah, go out in the field, pick up whatever you can.
Yeah.
We're not going back out there. And she got a lot of stuff, and she canned a lot of stuff from that.
That's amazing.
Tibor striking gold again. Get yourself a county map. Mark the important places on it to you. Apple farms, pear farms. If you're down in the southern states, citrus farms. All those type things. Where the co-ops are.
Co-ops, yep.
Yeah. And
know exactly where those are.
Find out who's raising beef, who's raising sheep, who's raising meat goats, who's raising dairy goats, and all that other fun stuff, and mark it on the map, and make sure you have attached to that map either a small notebook or some pieces of paper where you can write the information down. Okay, the apple farm on East Service Road, the head person out there is so-and-so, and this is his number. Because, hey, the cell phone may not be working. I mean, the cell phone may be working, but the towers may be down.
Right.
And so go around, look, because you don't want to be thinking, there's an orchard over here, things go bad, I'll just go over there and pick some apples. Next thing you know, you're getting a couple loads of either buckshot or rock salt coming at you. And you got, and that's something you really don't want to do. So, you want to find out where the stuff is, make friends or make acquaintances with those in charge, So you can do stuff. I know my neighbor across the street, kitty corner from where I am, straight across from the other property, Curtis, he owns Rex's Auto Body, but he also has a sawmill now, and he's milling up a whole bunch of wood. He totally redid his shop over there with all the new wood he did.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of other stuff. And we were talking yesterday? No, Sunday morning. We were talking Sunday morning. And I froze. And we were talking Sunday morning, and I showed him what I'm doing here. He goes, well, hey, you need to use my rototiller. Come on over and get it. He has a tractor with a rototiller on the back of it. So once the garden's all in, the soil's all in place, I can rototill it when you put that manure on it, get it rototilled in, and get all that done. All right.
That's awesome.
Southern Bless just came in. Hey, Mac and Patty, how's it going? And so different parts of the countries have different priorities on stuff. Out here, we don't have Mennonites. We don't have Amish. We have a lot of potatoes. We have a lot of alfalfa. We have a lot of beef. We have a lot of sugar beets. And, and the farmers rotate their crops. Alfalfa one year, potatoes the next year, sugar beets the next year, and back again. That way they put nutrients back into the soil for the crops that drop it out a lot. And sometimes during the winter season, they'll put out a cover crop and plow it under in the spring. As soon as the ground's thawed enough, they plow it under and start working it. Hey, Uncle Al, how's it going? All right. Yeah, so what do you have around you, Laura?
Oh, well, we have a lot of Amish and Mennonite families. But the thing is, it's no secret. So they sell beef and chicken and all of that. But so does our farmers market. Last time I was there, I got a bunch of cards of people that sell that kind of stuff from their land as well. So you can, call them to get meat that is homegrown. That's why I was at the farmer's market. I was looking for that kind of thing because that's maybe something we want to do in the future as well. The Amish and Mennonite, they have their own little stores and their little food booths and stuff like that, just, a couple blocks away from here, right over here in Kentucky. Even though I'm in Tennessee, it's just a couple blocks away. The cool thing about that is that I can go over there when there was an egg shortage and just go get eggs. And, there was no eggs in the store. And, but we get eggs from them all the time now. But it's no secret because everybody knows about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you got to look for those other farms, go to your look in your papers, look for those co-ops and those go to your co-op and ask if they know anybody that's doing that kind of thing, that is selling fresh meat or farm goods or, vegetables. There's quite a few farms out here that does that. And it was just easy to go to the farmer's market and get cards. You could probably still do that this year. Maybe ours is shutting down pretty soon, but
ours goes until for another 3 Saturdays at least.
Yeah, I think ours only goes for another week. So,
but the one thing, this Saturday we went to 2 farmers markets. We went down south, down to the one in Blackfoot, which was a real small one.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked to the organizer of it, got her card, talked to another lady that raises duck eggs, chicken eggs, and other stuff. And she has a freeze dryer and she freeze dries stuff up and sells it as well. And got her her card, and she's just starting. She doesn't have to put up any videos, but she does have her channel, but nothing on it.
Yeah.
Well, nothing of her own. She has some playlists of other stuff, and she's working on doing her own stuff.
Yeah.
So, but then we went up to Idaho Falls, to the big one up there, and that was huge. They went on for like 4 or 5 blocks. They closed off the one road, and for 4 or 5 blocks, both sides.
Wow. Nice.
There were at least 3 booths selling homegrown beef.
Right.
There was one we ran into, which probably going to go back and talk to him again this Saturday. They process wheat a little differently for making flour. They sprout it first and then dehydrate it and run it through the mill, so it's changed its gluten thing.
Yeah.
And its carb content, because he was saying he's diabetic and he needs low carb stuff, and this is very low carb flour that they make bread
interesting.
out of. And it's basically, instead of being a grain, once it's sprouted, it's now a vegetable.
Oh, okay.
And it changes the whole makeup of the grain. Yeah, it's Ginger Ninja, Courtney's #1 fan.
Yes.
And so we're going to go back and talk to him some more and find out and get a little bit more information on it. My wife bought one of his loaves of bread, and so I'm going to be trying some of that tomorrow. But yeah, they sell the bread they make with that flour. They sell the flour,
right?
And what was it? Besides the wheat, the germinated wheat that they've dehydrated, they also use I guess flaxseed in it as well, which is really low in carbs.
Yeah.
But he said they burnt.
It's a high fat content, which is great for your body. It's a good fat process.
But he said they burnt up a couple of mills before they find out what type of burrs they need and stuff to be able to mill the flaxseed, because it's oily more and it gums up and it causes problems. So they got that figured out. So we're going to talk to them about that, and that may be my source for getting wheat for having a loaf of bread a week or whatever, or I just may buy it from them.
Right.
Find out exactly how far out away they are. But yeah, I mean, there's certain things.
Do you have a resource for getting a starter or something like that?
Yeah, and the thing is, someone who makes this flour, goes through the process, and does it all. And you're getting this really super low carb flour for making bread.
Nice.
So that's some of the things we as people who are supposedly prepared need to add to our toolbox and go out there and find these people and work on it.
Right.
Getting stuff like that.
Well, even if you could get the flour from them,
Yeah, if I get the flour from them, heck, I get like a 5-pound bag of flour. Put it in the seal meal. Put the whole bag in there, suck it down, toss it in the freezer. That'll give me another year or so of shelf life out of it for the lean times when I can't get to them to get flour and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Another good resource would be nut trees, to really look out for those nuts to get those good fats.
Not just nut trees as in an orchard, but wild ones. Foraging to find out where the good foraging is.
We have a lot on our property.
My area, there ain't any trees around to forage from. Most of the trees around here are windbreak trees. Like we bought on Saturday. We bought 15 Lombardy poplars, and we're putting those in tomorrow. But about the only place to forage is along the Snake River, and everybody around here knows that area, goes down there fishing and stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, they just had someone was being stupid, and the what do they call it? The lower bottoms campground, and
Cultivation.
Got a fire going there, and it went.
Hmm.
Okay, we got the D Salt and Light came in, Cosmic Cultivators.
Good to see you guys.
Hey,
Kathy.
And so there's this is last year that a different part of that area burned as well. And so whatever natural stuff's growing down there is maybe slim pickings. But there's a lot of families around. Someone on Facebook tonight was talking about, hey, I went down there going after Rose. I was going down there trying to get down there to get some, go after, I forget what it was she mentioned, so that she was going to forage for, and they got the road closed. Why is the road closed?
Yeah.
And everybody was responding. The fire 2 days ago. I mean, it was a bad fire. I mean, there was smoke everywhere, and it's like, so that brings up another point. There are people who know where these other food things are that aren't too bright.
Yeah.
And when they're not too bright and they know where the food source is, that could be a problem. Let me see here.
CR.
People in your neighborhood that are growing gardens. Find out who's growing a garden.
Lady on the end of the block.
Yeah. Talk to them. Find out what they're growing. And then see about planting some stuff they're not growing. You may overlap on some things, but the things that you may have an abundance of something that they're not growing at all, and they may want to trade something that they have an abundance of for part of what you have an abundance of.
Right.
So that's going to be, it's going to be the neighborhood bartering system is going to come into play. Now, some people are going to say, no, wait a minute, you don't want people knowing what you're growing and stuff because they'll come after your stuff. Not everybody's going to be going Mad Max on you out there.
Yeah.
And if it's just a minor situation where, like, okay, the Sierras are closed from too much snow and no food is coming out of California for at least a week. But if you have someone that grows stuff, you have a buffer zone there.
Yeah. One
of the other things to remember too is that if you do develop a rapport and friendship with these other neighborhood gardeners, hey, you got yourself a little CAG there, community assistance group. You guys are going to look out for each other because hey, this person grows, that person grows. We need to keep an eye on each other because, hey, that's the food source. Lazy people out there that haven't been planting food and stuff, they're the ones we got to not be trading with.
Yeah. Unfortunately, everybody knows I'm growing stuff in my backyard because it's all grown over the fence.
Yeah. Well, like Uncle Al says, give a nut tree to the neighbors. Say, hey, here's a little tree. Grow your own nuts and food and stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, you got to make sure that they don't have nut allergies. And hoop houses and rocket stove can grow food year round.
Yeah.
Here it better be a double lined hoop house and a big one because we were down in the minus degrees here quite a bit this last winter.
Yeah. So were we. And up there on our property, it will get, the wind chill will be really cold.
Yeah.
So.
But up on your property, you have plenty of firewood.
This is true.
And if you have all over the place. And if you have more trees you got to take down, you can make an ad hoc wallopini. Basically, you build yourself out like a log cabin and then pile dirt up against the sides. Then you have your dome on top for it, so it stays warmer. I forget who it was. There's a video I was watching Was it a video or was it an article? They were talking about the original. It wasn't. Oh no, scratch that. It was my wife that was telling me about the original greenhouses were not called greenhouses.
What were they called?
Forcing houses.
Forcing?
Forcing, because you're forcing plants to grow in the middle of wintertime.
Oh, okay.
And basically there was no passive sunlight coming through. It was like a house. And they had lanterns in there and electric lights and stuff. And they, there was no reliance on the sun for getting the plants to grow. And being in a house, and they'd extra insulate the walls so it stayed warmer and stuff. And they were able to get warm it up enough without being a risk of a fire danger for the plants to grow and stuff.
Rocket stove, in the hoop house. Yeah.
Two. Yeah.
2.
Maybe 3 up here.
Depends on how big it is, right?
How big it is and how cold it's getting. But
just to keep some greens growing.
Yeah.
And then during the winter, grow kale instead of something that's a little less, hardy. So just grow it inside.
Gotta stay hydrated, folks.
But actually, kale would go through a harsh winter pretty good. So
some varieties are very cold hardy.
Yeah.
Carrots winter over. Onions winter over. If you have a 5-gallon bucket or a couple 5-gallon buckets, you can grow like rainbow chard indoors.
Yes.
And I got a new addition to this experiment coming up here. I'm ordering some iceberg lettuce seeds.
Oh, okay.
And since iceberg lettuce likes it a little bit cooler than I keep most of the house in the wintertime, the 1 bedroom over here, which is in the back of the house here, well, I'll just have a couple grow lights in there on a timer and just keep the 1 door closed and let the heat go through from the Jack and Jill bathroom here into it, so it doesn't freeze in there. And the lettuce should do absolutely fantastic.
So what is that why you're growing iceberg instead of because the nutritional value of iceberg is really low.
But I need to lose weight. And if you harvest it right, the center core of it is really tasty.
Yeah.
But I want to try to do because a head of iceberg lettuce will last me quite a while for making salads. Whereas with like my Grand Rapids lettuce, it gets I got to peel off the things and stuff. Now every now and then it bolts on me. Even the spring before it was really warm, my Grand Rapids lettuce bolted on me.
My bib lettuce, also known as it was bib lettuce and something else. Anyways, that lasted almost the whole summer here. Just recently bolted, so which is pretty impressive. Yeah.
So and you might check with some of your other neighbors because they may be trying to grow something indoors as well. And if they're growing something different, hey, it's my buddy Steve Fisher. You guys can't see it, but he's over there on Facebook.
Hey, Steve Fisher.
Yeah, Steve Fisher works for the I'm not sure if he's still there with the Contra Costa County Vector Control, and he helped me set up the CERT program there in Martinez, California.
Nice.
So, one of the things to check out. Speaking of California, let's jump over to where my wife is still staying at. Most of the people know that she grows stuff in her front yard. Well, up and down the street, there's like 4 or 5 other houses that have big gardens, and one of them is their property is on the edge of the creek, and the right of way down there, they've planted a whole bunch of trees, but they maintain them so the city can still get their trucks down the right of way without taking out their trees. And so, Steve is still there at Vector Control. Hey, Steve, found out something great for taking out rats and mice. You mix up some cornmeal, baking soda, and a little powdered chocolate to get all powdered together. Put it out on a tray. The rats and mice will eat it. Since they can't pass gas either end, they inside.
Cornstarch and what? Baking soda?
Baking soda. The baking soda, when it hits the acid of their stomach, goes, but the cornstarch tracks and
blocks everything.
And the chocolate attracts the mice and rats. And then when they get that baking soda in them, it goes.
Nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, everybody here, I can see the comments, and Laura can see for Steve because he's on Facebook. It shows up on our StreamYard chat.
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's
show
nice.
up on the YouTube chat.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I just noticed that.
Pastor McGuire says, "Hey, grits should work too." And then in that case, refried beans should work too.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah, they can't burp and they can't fart. So
I see, Al. It's funny that Al would know that.
Well, thinking back, I think that came up a little bit about a year and a half, maybe 2.5 years ago on Just in Time Prepping's Monday Night Roundtable. Hey, Emma, how's it going?
Hey, Emma.
Oh, because grits swell, so they eat the grits and it swells up in their stomach faster than they can digest it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That'd work. So,
so do you feed it to them dry and then it swells up in their stomach, or?
Yeah, you just put the grits out there dry. So finding out who around you is growing food, making friends, plant your own garden.
Just don't go steal from others now.
Yes, don't steal. Trade.
Yeah.
Because if you make an arrangement to trade beforehand, things will go a lot easier, and they may network with somebody else, and you guys will create a network. Well, someone over, John Jones over here is growing tomatoes, and Becky Rathenberg over here is doing cucumbers, and you find out who's growing what, and you can trade with.
A great way to start that conversation is if you hear that they're going to be processing a lot of food, is to go and offer to help, and then you can talk about trading and stuff during that, because it's, if you don't know them that great.
CR. All right. And he has a great point. Exchange seeds in the fall or spring.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
Terry Christ is here.
Nice to see you.
And because not everybody's going to have what's behind me. I don't even have what's behind me. Heck, if I had that behind me, that would be at least 7 years worth of food.
Yeah.
For my family. So one of the things, so you figure out who's growing around you, make friends, find out who just outside the area is growing. Well, like for Steve, it's his part of his area includes a area called Brentwood. There in California. Brentwood is farms. As teenagers, we used to go out there to the cherry tree farms and buy flats of cherries. Of course, when my brother and my cousin, neighbor across the street, were eating those, you did not want to go in the travel trailer. Woo! It was bad in there. And so you can find out some of these places out there that grow a lot of food. Of course, with these farms where you can buy flats of cherries, peaches, apricots, pears, whatever, Your next best bet, start canning. Buy it and can it. Oh, Steve has a question here. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Okay, I can bring it up. How can I keep my 3-year avocado tree from dying with a female tree? So I guess he needs, without a female tree. Okay, he put without later on. So anybody done with avocado, worked with avocado?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't worked with avocados, but it shouldn't die without a female tree. It just won't reproduce.
Yeah. I know my mom had an avocado tree and she had a fig tree. And she had those for years in half wine barrels, 27-gallon wooden tubs. And she had those for, 15 years. But yeah, I don't know. I have being a person that's not that interested in avocados, other than perhaps planting a tree for my wife to have avocado.
Yeah.
And keep her happy. I don't know.
Avocados wouldn't make it up here, so I haven't researched that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He says it did produce, but suddenly stopped and turned brown. Steve, hang on a second. Let me think.
It's too bad fish
Check
isn't here.
with the Diablo Valley College Horticulture Department.
Mm-hmm.
I know Kathy is no longer there. She's retired. She's moved up here to Idaho. But some of the people there should know, or they should be able to put you in contact with a registered master gardener. And there are a bunch there in Contra Costa County. There's some over in Richmond. There's some in Martinez. There's some out there in Clayton. So, and they'd love to help people with problems like that. So, check with the horticulture department over at DVC, and or just look online try to find some registered master gardeners in the county there. Hey, I'm going to get a little personal. Steve, how's your daughter doing? She was so cute the last time I saw her, but that's been wow. I've been retired now for 4 years, so it's probably been a while. About 5 years since I've seen her. So, yeah, Steve, can you see all the chat there, or are you just watching it live on Facebook and not going over to the YouTube portion? She's in high school and soccer. Wow. Growing like a weed, and wow. Woohoo.
That's great.
Yeah. All righty. Yeah, and for those of you that have been watching, keeping up on my concrete patio pour, well, patios got done Friday. Saturday, actually Friday night, late Friday night, I pulled the form boards off. Saturday morning, cleaned it all up. Started cleaning the area up. I got more dirt. I got another load of dirt came in, a bunch of it over here. Hey, Tim, how's it going? Another person here in the glorious state of Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And so the dirt area where the trucks had pulled in at and were sitting on to do the concrete pour, that's going to be the new dinner garden.
Hello, Aquarius.
Hey, Robert, how's it going? And so that's one of the things, I'm going to be at, next year, I'm going to be growing a lot of food. I may be participating in Shed Wars. And anybody that doesn't know what Shed Wars is, check out Homestead Aquarius there. Robert is one of the guys in charge of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to be increasing my garden here, but coordinating what my daughter's growing across the street, we're going to grow different things. So I can grow stuff that she's not growing. She'll grow stuff that I'm not growing, and we'll share and swap stuff. And one of the things I'm going to be
Oh,
growing a lot of.
CR, that's hilarious. Nice to see you again.
So
Leave it to a Canadian to
going to be
make a
growing
penny.
stuff I can't count in Shed Wars because I'm going to be growing some lettuce, some chard, and kale for her rabbits. So I will give her those, and then she'll give me meat back.
You shouldn't really give rabbits lettuce because it's got too much water in it.
No more than twice a week.
Yeah.
Same thing
they can eat kale all day long, but
yeah. The chard is twice a week, not because of the water, because of the other things in it. Some of the stuff in the chard is good for the rabbits, but too much is bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so I am enlarging my garden here. And so do the same, make yourself a food source for other people to trade with.
Not you personally, a food source.
Yeah, not you personally. Yeah.
Don't cut off your arm.
Just make sure to.
I'm sorry.
Just make sure that Corsair Trainers, that's Steve, Corsair Trainers and his crew, don't eyeball you, because one of the running jokes over on Steve's Corsair Trainers channel is, we'll just go out and harvest some long pork.
When did you start your Swiss chard? It might have been too hot.
Yeah. Chard likes to start early and cool.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. The chard was one thing I did not chit. I just planted it because each little, what looks like a seed usually has 2 or 3 seeds inside of that little pod. And I always get at least one that comes up. And the last 2 times I've planted it, I've gotten 2 or 3 that came up.
Yeah. I think next year I'm doing a lot more direct sowing too, because you can start stuff earlier here outside. So,
well, one of the things that I just have a success now. It's taken forever for it to do it. I put 2 Hannah's prized dwarf container tomatoes in my little chitting thing. One, and I was looking, nothing. And all of a sudden, I forgot to look at it for about a day and a half. All of a sudden, long one. Pulled it out, planted it. It's doing great. I just checked this evening. It's got a little. The next one has a little sprout on the seed. So, those are specifically for 5-gallon or smaller containers. So, a 3.5-gallon bucket, perfect. Yeah. And hey, Barry, it's Storms, Radios, and Cat.
Hey, Barry.
And why I went specifically with Hannah's, they're about 4 to 6 inch diameter tomatoes, red, not the yellow, not the pink. They're red, and they're indeterminate too.
Okay, nice.
So if I put one of those in that 15-gallon bucket I have in there, it's going to get bigger. It's not going to be a dwarf.
Yeah.
And there he goes. CR is out with more puns. He's a punny guy, and I like him.
He's a punny guy. We like our CR.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, CR, Creative Redundancy, he's north of the border, along with Howie, Food Forest Permaculture.
Yeah.
And has anybody seen Lori, Prairie Rider? She has 2 channels. One that comes up as Lori, the other comes Prairie Rider.
About a week ago.
But I also wanted, sometimes she tries to get in here for these. But so
she was in a live with Lisa from Yogi Hollow Farms and somebody else. about a week ago. So
Yeah. Lori's another cool old timer for me. One of the first ones I was following there off of when I was actually started following, subscribing to a lot of people.
yeah. Thank
All
you.
righty. Yep. Gardening Warrior Q, or just Q. She is from the Continuum. For those of you that are Star Trek fans.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Passamaquoddy got her first 3 cucumbers out of her garden today. The baby zucchini, I have baby zucchini, baby butternut, squashes,
Nice.
baby potatoes. Yeah, I just had another one of the Romans drop me while I was picking off some of the dead stuff off of the tomato plant because I thought it was done. And parts of it started just dying and drying up, and so I've been clipping that off, giving it more water.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's got. I mean, I probably got like 50 or 60 flowers on it, and blossoms on it now. It's like, okay, it's going for its second round here.
Yeah, sometimes you cut that dead stuff off, and it then it doesn't have to send energy there anymore, and so it just starts ripening stuff. That's why you cut the dead stuff off.
Yeah. So I turned the fan back on it, so all the blossoms are shaking, and when I went over to pick off one of the dead ones, it had a bunch of pollen on it. So I blew the pollen back at some of the flowers. But I got 3 cucumbers. I'm not sure when I need to. The one is small. The others are about that long, getting about that big around. Ooh, Emma's got some baby Jack Wonder butter beans.
Nice.
They are slow. Anthony at Palmetto Prepared.
Hey, Jay.
Put out a video a week and a half ago. It's worth going over and watching. He was talking about cowpeas and some other type of peas and stuff that are just, he's planted some of these things in his area down there in South Carolina.
Hey, Prepper too.
Drought condition, and he said everything else he's having to water a lot. Once these things are like 6 inches tall, he doesn't hardly water them at all, and they're out producing everything else right now. Yes, it's prepping to endure, aka P2E.
Yep. Hey, Hard Knife Farms.
Hey, Wendy, how's it going? So, yeah, like I started out in the beginning, look around your area. Take like Tibor put in there. Get a county map. Get your county map. If you're on a county line, get both maps.
Yeah.
And start going around and making notes. Oh, there's an apple orchard over here. There's a dairy over here. Ooh, that looks like they're doing tomatoes on this farm, or they're putting in this low growing crop. You know, or they're doing the what is it now? In California, it's been taking over. It's a little fruit. Oh man, can't think of it. But going from our house to Scout Camp, every year there's like another 30 acres being put into this crop. It grows up on a vine, a little vine up a string and stuff. Little fruit on it. I'm not particularly fond of it, but hey, if it's food, starve or eat it, I'll eat it.
Yep.
But mark out where
we even know where to get tobacco, corn. I mean, we have lots of corn growing real close. Got lots of tobacco growing real close. That's no use to me, but somebody else might be.
Yeah. Once you have horses, tobacco is a good medicinal remedy for horses.
Yeah, it's good for sweating out a sore.
Yeah, and bruises and stuff. You wrap the legs and stuff.
Yeah.
There is something that you need to be specially trained for, and you can only use just a little of it for getting rid of worms on horses as well. But you don't want to give them too much because it really makes them sick.
Yeah.
Oh, Yes, great. Abandoned properties that have fruit trees on it too.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing too. If there is some properties that are fallen in your area that have fallen into disrepair, so to say, and they're not selling and they're just sitting there, find out if it's bank owned.
Yes, it's good for
From,
trade.
somebody from Facebook say, yeah, good for trade. And shoot, that was a squirrel moment. You got distracted.
Gil, you're going to have to share that with me, how you do Facebook and this at the
Okay,
same time.
stick around afterwards and I'll show you how.
Okay.
So there's so the property is owned by has been foreclosed on. Bank owns it and they can't unload it. Sometimes you can get permission. Hey, can I plant some fruit trees over there, take care of the yard and stuff, everything for you, so I can get the nuts off the fruit and find a waiver or whatever else with if you have a good branch manager who has that under his belt, hey, improving the thing, I may be able to sell it. Yes, you can.
That's what they do in Chicago. They
Kiwis,
take empty lots. Yeah.
Kiwis, that's it.
Yeah. I like kiwis.
Yeah. And so there's but you look around and you take those maps, you go out and you look around, froze, who is growing stuff, what they're growing, find out who's in charge, and if it's a family-owned thing, find out the family stuff, and if the family-owned, become friends with the family.
Yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, if they sell you stuff, like say they have a big peach orchard and they sell you peaches, find out if they want some dehydrated peaches back, because they may be too busy to do it themselves, or take them something else that they're not growing. Like, hey, you have peaches, you probably don't want a peach pie, here's a cherry pie.
Yeah.
And so basically you want to get on their good guy list.
Yeah.
Just checking the chat here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, and that's something that's going on here in town. There's a guy down the street that has some cherry trees, but evidently he had some sort of episode and he passed out in his yard, was passed out for a couple hours, and now he's inside. He's not going. He's moving slow and stuff, and he's got cherries falling everywhere.
Yeah.
And so my wife and daughter were going to contact him and say, hey, can we come down? Just your cherries are rotting on the ground. Can we gather them up for you so they're not going to waste?
Yeah, and starting new trees in your yard.
Well, just gather them up for him, and he'll probably say, if he's that way, he's probably say, take some, or just you can clean them up for all you want. You'll be surprised what you can do. There was in California, a block and a half away from the house, the people had olive trees. When they bought the place, the olive trees were already there. They didn't tear them out, but they haven't done anything with them either. And so the sidewalk is covered with fallen olives.
Right.
And so if you see something like that, talk to the people, find out whether or not, if they say they don't know how to deal with that type of tree, and offer to help them. Show them how to, if you know how to pick that, whatever type of fruit it is, how to process it, work with them. You'll probably get a lot of free fruit in thanks from them. All right, we're coming to the end of the hour here. So let me grab my little list over here on the other computer. All righty, so Thursday night, I'll probably be doing at 11:55 Eastern time. Figure out your time zone from there. Going to be doing the Midnight Ride again here on GrayManPrepping.
Nice.
The next Monday, on Camp Patton Family Compound. There we go. This one here. We'll be doing at 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll be talking about the Asian jumping worm threat. Next Tuesday here.
That's a good one because that's coming our way, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's coming everybody's way.
Yeah.
And the next Tuesday here on Tactical Tuesday, we'll talk about what is in your get-home bag, what don't you need, what do you need. So we're going to be kind of going through talking about things to put in there and things you really don't need to have in there. And let's see, I saw a squirrel moment there with
I saw that. Yeah.
Squirrel comment. And so and then the following week we have on Monday we'll have uses for coffee filters, and on the 16th on Tuesday we'll have uses for used motor oil. So those are the topics coming up for the next couple of weeks. And of course you're going live tomorrow night, right?
Yep.
What time?
10 Central, 11 Eastern.
Okay, so that's Hedgehog's Homestead tomorrow night.
Yep.
And then you have one on Saturday.
No.
Not this week.
I'm doing a testimony Thursday at 11 as well.
Okay.
So people sharing their testimonies.
All righty. And so that's what's coming up here. I know that there's a lot of videos being put out by CR, Homestead Aquarius, how to grow. Die Bullfrog 79 puts out videos all the time. Ginger Ninja puts out videos, and just about everybody in here going back, past everybody puts out some sort of video, whether on their face or not. But they put out videos. They have good stuff to watch, good content. They may not put out a lot of videos, but what they have is pretty good.
If you want to learn about baking, I'm your lady and gardening.
Yeah. And of course, Wendy at Hardneck Farms has been giving updates there in Oklahoma for all the stuff going on in that area. Talking about the heat and dealing with the heat with her plants and stuff. So you may not be having a bad suburban hillbilly, not me. Okay. But she is a good supporter.
We're having a lot of rain, so I'm so thankful. But I really feel for those, because before we had this week of rain, it was drought and it was bad.
And that's the thing is you may not be having a drought and heat wave this year where you're at.
Yeah.
Next year you could be having it. So if you learn what to do now.
Right.
Oh, Pastor McGuire doesn't do a video. I thought you did videos. I guess not. Okay. All righty. So, so that's what's coming up. And I want to thank everybody for coming in here, for showing your support. And just remember, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water, food, medicines, clothing, skills. Learn more skills. All right? And we'll see you around. Take care, everyone.